Okay, everybody, I have a little secret that I need to let you all in on. Now, you know that I am all about feeling good, staying energized, and keeping my mind sharp so I can go out there and live my own fearless life and create my life by design while being able to meet and serve others. So, I have found something that helps me to do that amongst the chaos of holding it all, right? If you're anything like me, you are in a transition period. Maybe you're moving from one career to another. Maybe you're building your own business. Maybe you have a family. Maybe you are juggling multiple hats all at the same time. And whilst we know that we have to support our mind, body, soul, our nervous system with the right habits, standards, routines, to help us feel our best, sometimes we just need something a little bit extra to help fill those gaps in the chaos of life, right? Well, I have found something that does all of that and more, and it's called Happy Juice by Amar, the mental wellness company. It is a total game changer. Now, I have to admit that when I first heard about Happy Juice, I was very skeptical and I really didn't think that it was going to live up to the hype that I had heard all about it. Now, I have to tell you that I am a changed woman. I have been my mindset about this has been completely changed. I've been using Happy Juice now, drinking Happy Juice now for about 3 months, and honestly, the results speak for themselves. So what is it? Well, basically, Happy Juice is a delicious drink that is packed with science-backed nutrients that support your gut-brain connection. Because when your gut is happy, your mind follows. So what it does is it helps boost your mood, sharpen your mental clarity, and give you sustained energy without the jitters or crash of something like coffee. Plus, it also is going to help you manage your stress, improve your motivation, and support your overall mental well-being naturally. There are no synthetic ingredients inside this drink, which is something that is really important to me. I have personally been loving how much more focused, balanced, and energized I feel throughout the day, especially juggling a business, 2 kids, Evie starting school, juggling multiple rehearsals for my creative endeavors and pursuits that I'm in, as well as recording the podcast. So I have really, really loved how this drink, this really simple tool in my toolkit, has been helping me to fill the gaps and support me as I go out there and create this incredible dream life that I am chasing. So if you want to experience it for yourself, head over to the show notes. There is a link if you are overseas, say in the USA, and there is a link if you are here in Australia, New Zealand. Go and grab yourself some Happy Juice today. You will get $10 off using my link down in the show notes. So cheers to feeling amazing inside and out. Are you ready to find your voice, fulfill your purpose, build unstoppable confidence? And are you ready to learn how to trust, accept, and love yourself enough to do the work to create what you want in life? Oh, and do you want to learn how to do it without burning yourself out, sacrificing what matters most, or compromising on your values? Then you're in the right place. I'm your host, Crystal Stanton, a certified coach, human design enthusiast, entrepreneur, and podcast host on a mission to guide women into their true, authentic success, to help them recognize their power and to step out from the shadows and into the woman they were always meant to be. Around here, we don't do grey, unaligned versions of our life. We don't settle for what we should be happy with. Around here, we do big, bold, courageous, fulfilled, rich lives, and we do it in an aligned, nourished, and truly authentic way. If that sounds like the life you want, then stick around and make sure you subscribe to the channel so you never miss an episode. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Fearless. So, today's episode, I just wanted to quickly jump on and record this episode while it was fresh in my mind, fresh, in my awareness, which is something I'm going to talk about in this episode, and just dive in and share it. So, I've got a few notes here, but I really just want to sort of speak from the heart and speak from like my new understanding about the biggest thing that is keeping you stuck. Okay, the biggest thing that is keeping you stuck. And this is the biggest thing that has kept me stuck. And it is the biggest thing that I continue to work on. And I had it brought back to my attention, back into my awareness, and explained in such a way that finally made it sink in that this one thing is the thing that we all need to be focusing on the most if we truly do want to create transformation or change in any area of our life. So, for most of us, there's usually like three main areas of our life that we're trying to improve. It's usually our health, our wealth, or our relationships, right? But those three things being a problem in your life comes from one major problem that I want to share with you today. And this problem is something that is really sabotaging you quite a lot and very often. And for most of us, we don't even realize it. We don't even know that this is going on in the background. Now, as a reminder, if you're listening to this podcast, you probably have some sort of understanding or a very deep understanding and knowing of, how our reality is created, that everything is an inside out job. Right? Our external reality is created by our internal sets of programming, right? So all of the problems that we have in our life, they're all driven by our subconscious mind. And they're driven by our subconscious programming that runs through our subconscious mind. So it's all about identity. At the subconscious level, our subconscious values and our subconscious identity is what is creating our external reality. So everything you have comes from your subconscious identity. Okay, so just a reminder about that. It's really important that we understand that as we start talking more in depth about actually being able to create change in our life. And this one thing that I'm going to share with you today is a very major piece of subconscious programming and subconscious identity and value running in the background that is sabotaging you and keeping you stuck. So, a lot of people, when they, reach out to me or it's been coming up quite a lot inside the Fearless Collective community at the moment, I have a lot of people within the community that are ambitious, that are driven, that, want to create impact, that want to create more in their life. They want to leave the world better than they found it, And so a lot of the time they'll talk about, well, I'm really struggling with being committed to what I'm trying to create, being committed to the changes I'm trying to create, my business, my health journey. I'm struggling with, like taking personal responsibility. I'm struggling with the self-integrity, doing what I say I'm going to do when I say I'm going to do it. More so for themselves personally, which really is going to tie into what we're talking about today. They struggle with having the courage to take the imperfect action. They struggle with actually choosing or making choices or making the right choices. And one of the biggest ones is having the discipline required to create long-lasting, effective change in their life. And I just want to say straight off the bat that those are the mental habits that we need to have to create a different life, right? To create change in our life. But they are not the habits we need to focus on first if we haven't focused on this subconscious identity problem that's going on in the background. And that saboteur that I'm talking about today, that's going on in the background, that is really the cause of all of the major problems in your life, all of the areas where you're stuck, all of the resistance to growth, right, and expansion that you're trying to create in your life. That saboteur is low self-esteem or self-worth or self-love or self-value. Okay, you can use any of those words. They are slightly different, but you can use any of those words. Okay, it's not just the self-esteem, it goes deeper than that, right? Into that, how much do you really value yourself? How much do you really value yourself? Because your level of self-worth is going to determine everything in your life. Okay, now you may be hearing that and be thinking to yourself, what are you talking about, Crystal? Like, honestly, that just does not relate to me at all. I don't have low self-esteem. I have no problems with self-esteem. I'm confident, I'm a go-getter. I have no problems putting myself out there. Like, I hear you, because I am exactly the same. And people would say the same of me. People would say that I am confident, I'm self-assured, I have no problems putting myself out there. I mean, I'm creating podcasts, I'm doing live Q&As inside a community that I'm building, I'm creating offers, I have one-on-one clients, I have group coaching containers, I perform on stages and sing and dance and act. Like, on the outside looking at me, you would say she is a confident, self-assured person who is not afraid to put herself out there. And that would be true and accurate. But this is one big distinction that I want to make in this episode, that self-esteem or self-worth, self-love is not the same thing as confidence. They are different things. Confidence is a skill set, right? And confidence, go back. There is a series on how to build the skill of confidence in the podcast. I think there's 3 episodes, maybe even 4 episodes, about how you can build and develop the skill of confidence. But it is a skill set, and it's all to do with having the courage, to have the willingness to try, to build competency, which is where confidence actually comes from. Okay, it is not the same thing as self-esteem and self-worth. Now, when this was brought back to my attention, because I'm working with a new mentor, it was absolutely amazing, and I'll share more about that in as we go forward in episodes. But he brought this to my attention again and was really good at highlighting the difference, okay, and helping me realize, I really do have more work to do on self-esteem. I have done a lot of work, but I have more to do, and helping me realize where in the past this low level of self-esteem or self-worth or self-value has impacted decisions. Now, you might also be thinking, like I did, well, hang on, how can I possibly have a self-esteem or a self-worth issue? Look what I've created in my life. I've created XYZ, I've done this, like in my personal life experience, I was a teacher, I was a head of department, I was a school leader within the first 4 years of my career, I'm married, I have kids, like we've owned a house, like we've done all of these things. How can I have a self-esteem issue? What can happen is that for a lot of us, to cover up our low self-worth or our low value, we will go out and achieve things, right? To sort of help us have external validation, And so our ambition will not come from a heart-centered space, it will come from a space of lack of self-esteem, okay? So just let that sit and land and just let that sort of percolate for you. That just because you are confident, just because you have created things in your life, doesn't always necessarily mean that you have high self-worth, high self-value, high self-esteem. So I'm going to share some questions that you can use to help you get a deeper understanding of, is this something I need to look at? Is this an area in my life that is creating a problem, or that is keeping me stuck, or is stopping me from being able to be committed, take personal responsibility, be self-integral? If you're someone who, is writing goals and is saying, okay, I want, let's go with like the most common one, health. Okay. new health goal. I want to, have this type of body. I want to have this health goal. I want to feel this way in my body. I want to stop doing XYZ. I want to start doing ABC. Okay. And then you're like, okay, well, this is what I have to commit to. I have to commit to eating healthy, moving my body, sleeping more. Okay. You're like, all right, I'm going to do those things. And again, this all comes back to habits and habit creation and habit standards. And I think I will do some more episodes on that. I may have done one, but I definitely think I'm going to go for a bit of a deeper dive into habits, because literally your habits, you don't choose your life, you choose your habits and standards. So may do some more episodes on that. And if you do have questions about that, pop them in comment, send them to me, let me know. Because the show is not for me, it's for you. So what do you need to know or understand or be able to integrate to get the results that you want? But we all do that. We're like, okay, I'm committed to these things. I'm committed to this change. And this is the thing I have to do to create that change in my life. And we're super committed and disciplined and dedicated and responsible for like 2 weeks, right? Like 2 weeks, like, woo, yeah, I got this, showing up, feeling good. You're getting that, like that flood of self-respect and self-trust because you're doing what you said you did. You're being self-integral. And then sort of by the end of the 3rd week, it's getting really hard, right? And we're trying to like give ourselves ways out, which is actually, and I will do an episode on this, that's actually your habit voice. That's actually the reptilian part of your brain that doesn't like change, because change is unpredictable and it is designed to predict your safety based on what it has experienced in the past. So if you're making changes, it's like, no, change is not safe. And it will do everything it can to convince you to not do the things that make the change. So usually for most of us, by 3 weeks in, we've given up. We've quit, or we've gone back to what we were doing, and we have not created that change that we wanted to create. We haven't stayed committed and disciplined. We've stopped making those good choices. And instead of, because most of us don't understand how habit creation and standards work, which is all just brain, it's all just brain-based experience, we personalize it and make it mean something about us. Like I'm too lazy. I can't do anything. I'm a failure. Like I can never lose weight. I can never commit to things, right? All these stories that go on in our brain. And I've been there 100 million times. But where those stories are actually coming from, and where our inability to actually be committed and create that change is really coming from, is our level of self-esteem or self-worth. Okay, the value we have for ourselves, how much we value ourselves. And again, that is an identity level shift. So what a lot of us do is we jump forward into what are the things I have to do to create the change I want, but we forget that we have to go back to who do I need to be first. And because we don't work from who do I need to be first, we rely on motivation and willpower and force to try and create change, which is all garbage. Motivation and willpower is garbage. It is a finite resource. It runs out. And if you don't understand how habits actually work and are created, if you don't understand what's going on in your brain and the physiology and the neuroscience behind that, you are not going to be able to create change, because you're not being the person you need to be. When you be that person first, you won't need to rely on motivation and willpower. You will just do it because it's just who you are. And this is the information that so many of us are missing. And I never learned this information. I didn't grow up understanding how this happened, right? We weren't taught it in school or anything like that. It's only been in the last 3 years that I have started to go and find this information and learn and really let it sink in and get deep into my own understanding and practice with it, and have momentum and movement forward to then be able to share it with the incredible people within my community to help them create lasting change as well. Okay, so I just wanted to share that as a little bit of an understanding of why we can't create the change that we want to create, and how that is linked to our level of self-worth and self-value. But if you're still like, because this is what our brain does, right? Our brain likes to convince us that we are the exception to the rule, right? So, and it will dip into what we call, what's the word that I'm looking for? Oh, self-deception, right? So it's going to dip into self-deception to try and convince us that this information, this truth, is not relevant to us because of X, Y, Z. So what I do have for you, if you're still like, nah, doesn't relate to me, self-esteem, self-worth, self-love, not a problem for me, that's just fluff, you can just push through that bullshit and get shit done and make the change. No, not correct. Even if you are incredibly successful, even if you are looking at people who have created, incredible businesses and have relationships and have healthy bodies, like, where it's about the intention of where that's coming from, and you could still experience low self-worth as well, right? If there is any part of your life that isn't where you want it to be, this is going to be the main reason why it's not there and why you can't make that change. So I have some questions that are not questions I made up. They're questions from, credible psychological sources that are going to help you identify if this may be your real problem. Okay? Because obviously, yes, commitment, responsibility, self-integrity, those mental habits we need. Yes, we need to build the identity of being that person. But we have to have this solid foundation of self-esteem and self-worth. We have to value ourselves first to actually be able to implement and integrate those other mental habits. And I'll talk more about that in a minute, but I just want to share these questions with you. So before I ask you these questions, we're going to do a deep breath, because what we don't want to do is answer these questions from our logical mind, okay? From our individual prefrontal cortex mind, analytical brain, right? We don't want to answer these questions from here. What we want to do is drop into our body, expand into our heart center, and look for that body response. Whether it's your sacral response, whether it's your intuition, whether it's a splenic ping, whatever it is, if you know your authority based on human design, use that. But also use the heart-brain coherence meditation to help you drop into your body. This is a super fast, super simple meditation that's going to drop you into brain-heart coherence, into presence within 90 seconds, so that you can connect with your higher self, connect with source, divine mind, and receive answers, okay? And be able to answer more truthfully without your egoic mind, your unresourceful ego trying to get in the way. So all you're going to do, and you can do this even if you're driving, even if you're walking around, even if you're listening to this while you're doing other things, okay? This isn't a meditation practice. You have to be sitting still, lying down with your eyes closed, okay? You can do this with your eyes open. All you're going to do is start by focusing on your breath, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth, in for 4 counts, doesn't have to be 4 seconds, 4 counts, and out for 6. And you're just going to continue to do that in your own time, letting everything else fall away, and just naturally notice how your inhalation and exhalation lengthens as you become calmer and more present and more grounded in this moment right now. And as you continue to breathe, drop your awareness into your heart space, your heart center. And feel your breath expanding your heart center and the energy that is there, the energy of you. And choose an elevated emotion like gratitude, love, peace. Feeling that emotion as you continue to breathe, allowing it to expand out of your heart center through your whole body. And just notice what you notice right now. Notice how you feel after taking that short amount of time to drop into your body. Now I'm going to ask you these questions, and this is, what is your immediate response? Okay, your body response. Do you have low self-confidence in some situations or around certain people? Do you have feelings of inadequacy or you're not good enough? Do you negatively compare yourself socially to other people? Something along the lines of, I'm not as good as, I can't do things as well as, and that makes you feel bad about yourself or feel inferior. Do you have problems asking for your needs to be met? Do you get into self-doubt? Do you have trouble accepting positive feedback or help? Do you get into negative self-talk, talking down to yourself, belittling yourself? Do you lack boundaries? Are you excessively pleasing to others, bending over backwards at your own expense for other people? Do you have a hard time handling genuine compliments from people? Are you afraid to offer your opinion because you think it's not good enough or no one's going to listen to you? Do you take constructive feedback or criticism personally, making it mean something about you and your character as a person? Do you avoid social interactions because you feel like you're awkward and not good enough? So think about how you responded to those questions, how you answered those questions. And if you resonated with any of those, you were like, yes, I do that, then there is work still for you to do on your self-esteem, on your level of self-worth, how much you value yourself. Okay. And even if you are an incredibly confident person, you have that skill set, even if you do put yourself out there, even if you are self-assured, you can still have a problem with your level of self-esteem or self-worth, how much you value yourself. And it may be in only specific areas of your life. It may not be in everything, but perhaps it's in specific areas. And, if you were being really honest with yourself, those would be the specific areas of your life where you're struggling to create the change that you want. Okay, beautiful soul, just interrupting for a minute to talk to you about something that I'm really, really excited to share with you all. Now, if you are listening to this podcast, you're potentially someone who is in a bit of a transition period in life. Maybe you have been in a career for a long time and you're looking to change career paths or to realign or get more clarity around your current career. Maybe you're building your own business and you're just feeling like you can't quite get the clarity you need to get the momentum happening. You're not quite sure what it is you're here to do or who it is you're here to serve. Maybe you're really struggling to figure out or revisit or redefine your identity, your life purpose, and your life direction. Now, I am really, really excited because I have created a very simple tool that is going to help you get the clarity that you are seeking. Transitions aren't just about, the next job or the next phase of our business. They're really about rediscovering who we are and realigning to who we are at our birth frequency. And that is where true authenticity comes from and true authentic success comes from. Now, what I have created for you is an incredibly simple tool that you can use to create clarity, alignment, success, progress. I am so excited to share this tool with you. And that tool is my aligned business roadmap. I am so excited by this tool and what I have been able to create. And I am absolutely so grateful and thankful for the incredible feedback that I have received about this tool. Now, what this tool does is it helps you create a growth plan that is aligned with your human design and your astrological frequency. So if you are wanting to build a thriving business that feels completely aligned with who you are, or if you're already in a career and you're just looking to leverage your unique human design and astrological blueprint so that you can craft a strategy that is actually designed for you, and you want to do it all in less than 1 hour without needing any in-depth knowledge about astrology or human design, then the Aligned Business Roadmap is for you. What the Aligned Business Roadmap is an ultimate ChatGPT prompt, mega prompt, that you can plug in step by step that's going to combine your human design and astrological frequency into a tailored strategy for you. It's going to provide a detailed roadmap to help you create a business that is aligned with your energy and your goals, no matter what they are. It is super easy to follow, even if you are new to human design or astrology. This isn't just another template. This isn't just another list of things you need to check off and do. This is the foundation for you to start becoming the person that can show up and hold the business, the career of your dreams, and actually achieve the goals that you have. It's your foundation for a supremely aligned, powerful strategy that works for you. No more chasing what everybody else is telling you to do. No more feeling overwhelmed by the hundreds of things that are out there that are always being thrown in your face. This is tailored to exactly you and your specific energetic blueprint, your birth frequency. And that is where true authenticity and authentic success comes from. So what you get inside this really simple tool for $47 is a clear guided prompt to help ChatGPT create a personalized growth strategy for you in any area of your life. Instructions and insights for deeper understanding, or you can just use it as a simple start point if you are a beginner, right? To create some clarity on where do I want to go and what's the most aligned way for me to get there. Also, it has the flexibility to dive deeper on your own or work with me to put the plan into action. Remember, business is not a one size fits all, and that is where so many of us are getting ourselves stuck. We're tapping into cookie cutter strategies, and there's no real authenticity, no real us, no real soul inside them. So by tapping into your human design and astrology, you'll be able to unlock clarity, alignment, and a path that feels natural, nurturing, and fulfilling. Okay, so I hope you're as excited as I am. Get ready to start transforming your business or your career. Say goodbye to all of the overwhelm and all of the generic strategies. Get ready to step into alignment with a strategy that truly resonates and watch your potential become a reality. If you are ready, head to the show notes. The link is in the show notes, $47. Go and grab your Aligned Business Roadmap today. Go and check out the testimonials from the other people who have already used this tool inside their business with incredible success. All right, big love. Enjoy the rest of the episode. I know for me, one area I consistently struggle to create change in my life is around my physical body. Since I had my babies, well, this would be my whole entire life I've struggled with this, but particularly since I had babies, I put on 20 kilos when I was first pregnant with Evie. And since then, I have been struggling with making change in that area of my life. Staying committed to my health, staying committed to being able to lose that weight and shift my body back into a weight that feels good, that feels healthy and whole, so that my body can feel strong, so I can have longevity, so I can feel good in my body. Is something that I consistently struggle with. So for me, I know that there is a self-worth issue going on in that aspect, right? And in others as well. This is why I know, like, for me, this has been my biggest thing and continues to be my biggest area of growth, of work that I need to focus on, right? This is the identity level work that I personally need to do the most, because I can force myself to be committed, to be disciplined. I can take responsibility. I'm quite good at that. But it goes in peaks and troughs and valleys, right? And ebbs and flows and cycles. And it would be really easy for me to justify that away and explain that away. I have open, defined centers in my will center and blah, 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 and this and that. And, well, I have kids and my husband works 7 on, 7 off, and blah, 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 blah. This is what I mean by the habit voice, right? The stuff that goes on in the brain that tries to make us the exception to the rule. Really, what it is that I need to do more deeper work on my self-esteem. Because if my self-esteem was at a greater level, I wouldn't have the same kind of problems with being committed to those goals, being the person that has that reality, right? I wouldn't be wishy-washy. It would just be who I am, okay? So this is all identity level work that we're talking about, right? Who we are being. And if you do want to hear some more sort of anecdotes on my personal experiences with those questions, come and join the free Fearless Collective Facebook group, because this came up inside a Q&A recently in the Facebook group, and I shared a lot of examples of how these questions have played out for me in the past, but I won't go into all of those here in the podcast. So if you want to, like, oh, what did that look like for you, go and come and join us inside the Fearless Collective, the free Facebook group, and you can, watch that Q&A over there. But really, like, what I want to talk about now is, okay, once I understand that, now I have that awareness, because you don't know what you don't know, right? We don't know what we don't know. We don't know how the brain works if we've never learned how the brain works, right? We don't know that we have a self-esteem issue until we know we have a self-esteem issue, right? So it is all about awareness, and we don't need to blame ourselves or say it's our fault if we haven't created change in our life until we have this awareness, right? And again, we're not going into guilt or shame. We're not personalizing any of this anyway, because it's all just brain-based stuff going on and subconscious identity work going on. But now that we have the awareness, this is where we can actually create transformation from, right? Because transformation is literally just a sequence of epiphanies, right? Aha moments, like, oh my gosh, I can see how that's played out in my life. Oh, that makes so much sense, right? That's all transformation is, this sequence of epiphanies that create awareness for us. And from that awareness, we can then make choices. And those choices are going to actually create the change in our life that we want to see, or keep us the same, keep us exactly where we are, depending on the choices that we make. Because we don't choose our life, we choose our habits. So what I want to invite you to do is start to love yourself like your life depends on it. Because it does. Because it does. Your level of self-worth, self-esteem, your value, how much you love yourself, your life does depend on that, because it is the foundation that we need. So I want to ask you, who are you being? Are you being someone who loves, trusts, and accepts themselves completely? And it's okay if you're not. Just be honest about it. Take that self-responsibility. Like, fuck, no, I'm not. I'm not being someone who loves, trusts, and accepts myself completely. I'm someone who is constantly talking down to myself, is constantly pointing out all of my flaws, is constantly focusing on what's lacking in my life and lacking in my character, right? Is constantly like using shame and guilt to make myself feel bad about the things that I haven't done, or the areas of growth I haven't achieved, or the goals that I haven't achieved, right? You're not loving, trusting, and accepting yourself. If you are doubting, you don't love, trust, and accept yourself. Okay, so this is very important. Self-esteem, self-worth, self-love is about your level of self-trust, self-acceptance. Okay, because when you are someone who does truly love, trust, and accept themselves completely, then at an identity level, then you will be someone who can be committed, who can be responsible, who can be self-integral, who can be courageous, who can make good choices, who can be disciplined. It will just be who you are. But at the moment, you have this vicious cycle of your different areas of your brain battling each other, because it's not who you are at an identity level, but you're trying to force yourself to be something that you're not, but it's not who you are at an identity level. So you've got these different parts of your brain, your reptilian brain, your subconscious mind, be like, that's not who you are, but you're trying to force yourself with your prefrontal cortex, your logical brain, to make yourself be that person. And we need to do it the other way around. We need it to be our identity level first, and then we won't have to force ourselves to do it. It will just be what we do because it's who we are. A really great example that my mentor, one of my current mentors uses, Jim Fortin, is, a smoker smokes because that's their identity. They are a smoker, therefore they smoke. A non-smoker does not smoke because that's their identity, therefore they do not smoke, right? It's a really simple version of that, but that is the goal for us. It would be really hard, and it is, if you know anyone who has given up smoking, it would be really hard for someone who has an identity of a smoker to stop smoking. And yes, there are chemical elements going on there, I understand that, but also at an identity level, they identify as someone who smokes. I am a smoker, right? Pick up a cigarette and smoke it because I am not a smoker. So it's just not who I am. Okay. So I hope that's helping. I hope that's landing. So we really want to build that level of self-esteem, self-love, trust, and acceptance, because if you have low self-worth, low value, low self-esteem, you're trying to build on a faulty foundation. Okay, you're like I already talked about, you're relying on willpower and motivation, which is garbage and finite and runs out, to force yourself to do more things, but it won't last because it's not who you are at an identity level. And until we actually learn how to, in our brain, change our habits and our subconscious identity to change who we are, the reptilian part of your brain, the habit voice in your brain, is always going to win because it is more powerful than your logical brain, because it is the part of the brain that is designed to keep us safe. Okay? So it's not about you as a person. Isn't that just so freeing? It's not you. You're not uncommitted. You're not, it's not that you're lazy or incapable or anything like that you tell yourself. It's just literally how the brain works, right? And once we understand how the brain works, then we can start to make the changes we need to make to be the person that we want to be, to do the things that we need to do to have what we want to have. So, this is what we need to be working on, making that change at that identity level. Because at the moment, what's happening is you're making choices and you're doing things from a place of fear, right? There are like common fears that all of us have. They may be expressed in different ways and they may be about different things, but when you really dig down to it, most of us have a fear of rejection, have a fear of inadequacy, have a fear of judgment, have a fear of failure, or a fear of success, right? And if you really, went deep into your fears, what holds you back and what stops you from taking imperfect action in the direction of your dreams, you would figure out that it's one of those 5 things. But really, if you think about that, you have a fear of rejection because you don't value yourself. You don't feel worthy. You have a fear of inadequacy because you don't value yourself. You don't value your skills, that you're capable and worthy of achieving that thing. You have a fear of judgment because you don't value yourself enough. So you're looking for external validation from other people. You don't value yourself and your self-worth and have high self-esteem. So you're terrified of failing because you don't believe you're worthy of achieving it in the first place. Or you don't believe self-esteem is around skills. You don't believe you have the skills to achieve what you want to achieve. You have low self-worth and low value, okay? You have a fear of success because you don't think you're worthy of it, or you feel inadequate, that if you were successful, you wouldn't be able to maintain it anyway. All of it, all of our main problems in life come from this one problem, which is our self-esteem, our level of self-esteem, self-love, self-trust, self-worth, self-acceptance. Use whatever word you want to use. They are all slightly different, I understand that, but use the word that resonates with you the most because it's really coming back to the same thing anyway. Okay. So now that you're probably sitting there and being like, well, fuck, what do I do about that? Like, thanks for dropping this on me, but what the fuck do I do about that now? Okay. I'm not just going to dump and run. I am going to help support you with this. And like, to be honest, this is the bulk of the work that I do within my community and with the women that I work with. Like, to be honest, most of the women that come into my programs, into my communities, they come in usually because they're building something of their own, whether it's a business or their own community or a creative endeavor, like, a podcast, whatever it is, that they're building something themselves, right? The people that I call into my world are ambitious, are driven, want to make an impact, okay? And so that's what they come in thinking that they need the support with. But really, the work that we always end up doing is this inner work, because it is the work. It is the only work. Because when you do this work, everything else becomes easier and just flows because it's just who you are. And that's why I use, this brain-based transformational psychology principles, neuroscience, as well as human design, because human design is a really great framework for helping us love, trust, and accept ourselves and self-actualize, along with the physical science of what's going on. Because we are cosmic beings, we are here having a human experience, but that human body that we're having that experience in is designed in a very specific way. So we have to understand that as well. We know that we are divine, we are one, we are source, but we're also within a human body that works in a very specific way. And that's why we need to understand both and learn how it all works. Okay, so like I said, this is the main body of work that I end up doing with the people that I work with or the people inside the community. So I've got 2 really simple things that you can start doing today. Okay. And before I share those 2 simple things with you, I want to share a statistic with you that was shared with me last week, just to really highlight the importance of taking some action. So it was shared with me the other day that 83% of people who wait until later to invest in personal development never end up doing it. 83% of people who wait until later to invest in personal development never end up doing it. 83% of people. So you're probably listening to that going, ooh, me. Because 83% of people that do that never end up doing it. And the reason why I want to share that with you, because I'm not, this isn't about financial investment. 100%. You need someone, okay? You need someone to guide you. This is work. There are very few people who can do this work alone because we don't know our own blind spots. This is why I constantly invest in mentors and growth and expansion opportunities, because it's hard to do this on your own. But this isn't just about financial investment, right? I 100% believe in investing into coaches and mentors, 100%, or communities that also have coaches and mentors who can support you. And if you're not doing that, I want you to check in with your self-worth. Why don't you think you deserve that? Why don't you deserve that kind of support in your life? Why not? We have a self-worth issue going on here, right? And you're going to say, no, it's a time issue. I don't have time for that. Or it's a money. I don't have enough money for that. Or it's energy. I don't have the energy to do it, right? So we're waiting until later when we have more time, more money, more energy. Do we see how the cycle persists? Okay. We're looking at our circumstances instead of getting resourceful, but you also don't have to invest money to invest into your personal development, okay? Because I'm going to give you a very simple tool, two very simple tools that you can use to start shifting your identity in terms of your level of self-worth and self-esteem. That will cost you nothing financially. They will cost you a time investment. And I know for a fact that most people will not do it. 2 free tools, very minimal time investment. I know for a fact most people won't do it. 1, because you're like, it can't be that easy. That's too simple. Our brain likes to overcomplicate things. 2, you don't understand how habit installation works. And so you won't actually know how to use these tools and habituate them. And frequency of repetition is how we learn new things. Okay, so those are the main reasons why. And again, this is why investing into someone who can mentor and guide you, or a community that can help keep you accountable, is really important. Okay, is really, really important. So I'm going to give you the 2 tools, and I'm going to throw the challenge, throw the gauntlet down, that if you don't do these things, it's honestly just proof that this is your biggest problem. Because if you don't even value yourself enough to do one of these tools to improve your levels of self-worth and self-trust, it's pretty obvious that you have a self-trust issue, a self-worth and value issue. Okay, so, and also I'm going to throw the gauntlet down, do these tools as I've shared them, commit to them and be disciplined with them, and then come back in 30 days and prove that they had no effect. Like, show me they had no effect. Like, I'm putting that challenge out there because I know that that will not be the case if you commit to them and you're disciplined with them and you take full responsibility and you choose to implement them. Okay, so the 2 tools. The first one, so simple. So simple. 3 times a day. Okay, 3 times a day. And like, probably TMI, but anyway, the way I install this habit is when I go to the toilet, right? So 3 times a day, in the morning, lunchtime, before bed. Okay, I normally go to the toilet when I wake up, go to the toilet before bed, go to the toilet somewhere in the middle of the day. Do your business, go to the mirror in your bathroom, look at yourself, like properly, fully, full eye contact, looking at yourself. For some of you, even that is going to be a challenge, right? Even that is going to be confronting and make you uncomfortable. Lean into that. Okay, what we resist persists. So lean into that. And then all you're going to do is tell yourself, I love you 10 times. Count it on your fingers. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Okay, 10 times, and really like take the time. Don't just say it. I love you, 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 I love you. Like feel into the emotion. And if at first it feels too awkward or too confronting, substitute someone in. Okay, you're still looking at yourself, so that will work. Okay, on that subconscious level, but substitute somebody you feel deep love and gratitude for until it starts to feel more safe to do so for yourself. Okay, but 3 times a day, 10 times in the mirror, eyeballing yourself, I love you. You can do that for 30 days. Now, where most people get stuck is they're like, okay, macro habit, I'm doing it. Tomorrow I'm getting started. Or the people who really want to take this seriously, you'll get off this podcast and you'll go straight to a mirror and do it right now. Or you're looking in a mirror as you're listening, doing it, okay? You'll be, yes, gung-ho, go. Now, where we're going to get stuck is we're not going to have any micro habits in place to support the macro habit. Okay, the big habit, we need smaller habits to support us. So, for example, maybe you'll need to set some alarms to remind you to tell yourself that you love you, that I love you. Okay, I have it written on one of these, okay, like lecture cards. I can't remember what they're called, flashcards, whatever, stuck on my bathroom mirror. I love you in capital letters. So I see it multiple times a day, which is just like another little boost in that I love you-ness. And it's a reminder for me, okay? I love visual reminders. It's one of my favorite micro habits, but also alarms work really well. Alarms with a written reminder, go and tell yourself you love you, okay? So that's the first tool. The second tool, I'm going to drop it into the show notes, but the second tool is actually something I created, and it's like a mini meditation, okay, a vibe booster. So I learned this skill from Alex Tripod, and this is a vibe booster that I created for myself on this particular topic of self-love. So I'm going to pop it in the show notes. You can listen to it as many times a day as you like. Aim for 3 to 5 times a day. First up in the morning, couple times throughout the day, and as you're going to bed. And it's literally just an audio that it's a subconscious reprogramming audio, and it goes for about 3.5 minutes, right? That's all I'm asking you to commit to. 3.5 minutes, not even that for the I love you one, at a time. You are worthy of 3.5 minutes for yourself. Okay? Habit stack it if you need to. It's probably better if you can be present in the moment and connected, but if you need to habit stack. Do it while you're on the toilet. Do it while you're washing the dishes. Do it while you're driving. Like it will still work, okay? Obviously, if you're driving, be safe. Do it with your eyes open, but you can still do it. You can habit stack it, because I get it. I'm a mom of 2 small kids. Husband works 7 on, 7 off. I get that time is a resource, and I get it. I get circumstance, absolutely. But you deserve and are worthy of 3.5 minutes for yourself a few times a day. Okay? Okay. You are. All right? And if you don't believe that, or you feel resistance to that, it's proof that you need to do this work. So those are my 2 tools for you to use. If you have questions about that, come on over to the Facebook group, the Fearless Collective Facebook group, pop them in there. I would love to answer them. I do a live Q&A every Thursday at 11 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. And if you really want to dive deep into this work with, high level accountability and support and touch points, come and join the Fearless Collective members portal. Okay, that's where we do this deeper work, the training, the teaching, the understanding behind it, as well as the guided coaching and mentoring that you actually need to be able to integrate it and put it into your life. All right, that is it for today. Big love, everybody, and I will see you on the next episode. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I really hope you received exactly what you needed from it. I absolutely loved sharing it with you. I'd also love to know what you thought. So please leave a comment or a review for me to respond to, or just come over and say hi on my socials. If you'd love to be a guest on the show, or maybe you have a question or a topic that you'd like me to talk about, then please send me a message. I absolutely love to connect. And really, this podcast is all about you. So, and your success. So tell me what you need to hear more of. If you really enjoyed this episode, please give it a like, or even better, send it to someone you know to spread the love. Let's get this authentic success movement happening. Okay, that's it from me. Big love. Now go out there and be amazing.